Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Flight 96. I'm your host, Hunter Foreman, and today is something a little different. Usually we've been doing that a lot lately. Of course, last week we did the birthday edition for Thanksgiving, and this week I'm going to do something different. There's no guest today. There's no guest today, and a lot of people are, want to know. A lot of people know, why is there no guest today? Well, things happen. And I got to think on the fly. So this is something that I've always wanted to do. It's kind of like behind the creator kind of thing. So y'all are gonna learn a little bit about me today. I don't know how long this is gonna happen, so bear with me. If y'all listen to this whole entire episode, then y'all are real true fans of the show. So the reason I started Flight 96 is because I wanted, not really as an excuse to talk to people, but, just be able to talk to my friends in a comfortable environment and, understand, where they come from on different aspects of life. And that's what it was. It was just good talk about life, whether how deep it is, how deep they want to get into it, that's their thing. But for me, it's just like, if I could talk to you, about anything, then you're truly a good person in my eyes, because that means you're not afraid to tell me anything, or nor anybody, nor the next person. So what I'm here to do is to tell you guys why I created Flight 96, and I hope you guys grasp the message that I'm trying to send out. The reason I created Flight 96 is because, I don't know anybody personally that does podcasts anymore. But podcasts have been kind of played out, I guess, whatever. Every celebrity apparently has one. But, I always wanted to do one because I want to be able to, put these fantastic conversations that I've had in life on record. And put them on YouTube, and people be like, oh my God, this was a great conversation. I love listening to this. And I think I've accomplished that every time I do an episode. And, things are different now. I feel more confident in myself, generally, ever since I started doing these. These have actually, helped me, my self-esteem, to be honest, because, I was a shy kid in high school, and I didn't necessarily, fit in with the in crowd, I guess, if you should, so to speak. But that's because I was just really trying to impress a lot of people, and there's a lot of things I learned in high school, like what an actual friend was, how your future can do a lot of twists and turns, and you can change up how you want your life to be, like that. And I think high school is a very important chapter in your life that you need to take very seriously, because it could be gone in an instant. Those 4 years will go up real quick, and then you're out on your own, and you're like, what do I do? What do I so anybody who's watching this and still in high school, I'd say cherish the moments that you have left, because you won't be able to, because high school, that eliminates a lot of priorities. You're just in school. You really don't need to have a job, so you can just focus on your studies. If you have a car, you can just go anywhere, you know what I'm saying? So your weekends are either, homework or hanging out with your friends, and that eliminates your worries. But when you get out in the real world, you got to worry about car payments, maybe looking for an apartment, living on yourself, so you got to pay for that, you know what I'm saying? So a lot of things are put on hold while you're in high school. So enjoy that freedom for as long as you can, because it's not going to last long. It only lasts for 4 years, maybe 5, so you never know. But when I got out of high school, you know what I'm saying, I graduated. I was kind of down, I guess. I was like, everybody's going off to college, all these, great colleges. Some people are going off to great jobs. Some people are going off in the military, which I tried that route, and it just wasn't for me. But I was kind of down on my luck, and then I got offered an office job, which I still have this day. And even though it's a part-time job, I think that job and that call kind of really changed me. Like, I'm about to start making money, and then I started going. Then I applied for college, and it's just a community college, but and that's when I started gaining, good self-esteem. I was like, wow, this feels good. Like, I feel good about myself. I'm very confident in what I do. I used to not be. I used to be doubting myself, a lot. That's why, I wish I could at least go back to high school for 2 more years with this person that I am, not the old me, So I wish I could do a lot of things differently. But I think it all led me to, the point that I'm at now, where I'm very confident in what I do. I don't let people's, judgments get to me like I used to. I don't really care about what other people think anymore, which is a great thing. And that's the thing I want to say, is that if you're worried about what people think right now, it's not something that you should do, because, you as a person, they don't, if this person, is doing something for you with either money wise or, is, I don't know, being a friend to you or something, if they really care about you, what I'm saying, they would like you for who you are. They don't want you to change when you're around them, what I'm saying? They don't want you to change who you are while you're around them. And, you sit there and you think, like, why do these people are so different when I'm around? Well, that's what high school is. You know what I'm saying? If you talk to somebody one-on-one, they're different than when a bunch of people are around. Most of the time. I prefer myself as an exception. I learned from the great Mac Miller, which we'll get into some hip hop talk here in a couple minutes, but I want to talk to y'all for a minute. I learned from Mac that I like to be myself at all times. When I heard him say that, I was like, wow. Like, he doesn't put on a mask. He doesn't do anything like that. He likes to be himself at all times. And I think that's some of the best advice I've heard. You know what I'm saying? Just be yourself at all times. If people fuck with you because, of who you are, then those are your real friends. If they don't, then you need some new friends. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to change for people. You shouldn't have to change for people. If you have to change for somebody, that's not your friend. Like, you know what I'm saying? And to all the people who, I'll say it, have ruined the word relationship and what it means, shame on you. Real talk. Because, everybody's scared to get in relationships. Everybody's scared to get their heart broken. I'm not the type of person that, that takes chances, but I will say this. I used to be like terrified of rejection. I still am, but like you have to lose in order to win. That's just in life. That's not, that's, of course, it's in relationships, but you have to lose in order to win. You got to feel the taste of defeat so you can, so you can feel that, the victory later, I'm pretty sure, athletes have lost big championship games and they're like, you know what, I've learned. The best attitude is, I learned what I need to do so that way next time I'm in this position, I will not make the same mistake twice. And they don't, and then they become champions. So, you know what I'm saying? That's something that they need to take care. That's something that you need to, talk to your soul about. I can't believe I just said that, but yeah, something to talk to your soul about, and really think of who you are. It may take a couple years to figure out who you are. I'm glad to know I figured out who I am. I'm a nerd, to be honest with you, man. I love battle rap. I love wrestling. I love technology and all this cool stuff. I'm a hip hop nerd. I really am. Yeah, if many of my true friends know that I really am a hip hop nerd, and you know, that stuff it means something to me. Now my relationship with hip hop is a little different. I mean, of course, everybody's like, "Oh, I heard that one song and I just love the whole genre." Well, it was kind of like that for me. But you know what I'm saying, me and hip hop have a very good relationship. It's always been there. Always. Hip hop music's always been there when nobody else was for me. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, it all started when I heard, this song's older than me, but when I heard Pete Rock and CL Smooth, They Reminisce Over You, I was like, what is this? I was like, what is this sound? That is magnificent to me. And from that point on, I think when I was like 9 years old, 8 or 9 years old, from that point on until I'm 20 now. From that point on, I researched everything that had to do with hip hop. News sites, blogs, forums, message boards, all that stuff. I seen it all in radio shows, and I've heard some of the greatest music. I've heard some of the worst music. But I'm not like a Peter Rosenberg or a DJ Envy or a well-respected man whose opinion is valued, like a Rick Rubin. In music in general, Rick Rubin, you don't know, if you've ever heard of Def Jam Records, him and Russell Simmons are the reason why Def Jam exists. And I hope to gain as much knowledge as a Russell Simmons or a Rick Rubin or a Diddy. Even if people get on Diddy for acting, he's always showboating. Diddy I wouldn't say he discovered, but he put B.I.G. on the map. He put the notorious B.I.G. on the map, and he is one of the greatest rap artists to ever bless the mic, and Bad Boy is one of the biggest record labels in history that Diddy built. He built that from the ground up. He discovered Jadakiss, Nas, Lil Kim, Faith Evans, French Montana now, Machine Gun Kelly. He was the reason, he was behind that. He's created hits. So, people discredit Diddy because he's a showboat and he does all these, says these things, and I respect who he is and what he's done, because he's a pioneer. And if it wasn't for Diddy, a lot of y'all's music that we listen to now would not exist. It wouldn't. It would not exist. Now, as if you've listened to the show, I've always asked people, who are music enthusiasts, what do they think of the new wave of rap? And there's been some good and there's some bad, but I always say whatever I listen to something that has a really good beat to it, something I can nod my head to, or I can get crazy to. You know what I'm saying? So, it changes. But you guys have to, all you people who are like, oh, I miss Wu-Tang. I do too. Let's hold on before we get that. I think my junior year, I discovered Wu-Tang. I was late to, if I was raised in the 90s, man, I would be way more, seasoned with this whole hip hop knowledge and stuff. I would, but I discovered Wu-Tang my junior year, and that's all I listened to was Wu-Tang, and every single, members' music, Ghostface Killah. I listened to Iron Man, his first album, Iron Man, and then Supreme Clientele, which is a certified classic, and then the Purple Tape from Raekwon, which is known as Only Built for Cuban Links. I listened to the sequel, which was even longer than the first one. So when it comes to Wu-Tang, Method Man with Tikal, I can never pronounce that right, but and then their group album, their first ever group album, Enter the Wu-Tang, 36 Chambers. That's a certified classic. I mean, GZA. We can't forget about GZA. You know, when he came out with Liquid Swords. There's a lot of hip hop that existed in the '90s. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that y'all don't know, like Del, the Funky Homo Sapien. When Lord Finesse was doing his thing, Pete Rock, who's one of my favorite producers of all time, he's up there with Dre, Ninth Wonder, Pharrell. You know, Pete Rock. Of course, he's responsible for one of my favorite song of all time, but it's the one Pete Rock who also came out with a very good collaborative album with Smoke DZA. Now, people don't know who Smoke DZA is. He's the Kush God. You know, he came in with Wiz Khalifa, Currency. I guess I'll put Dom Kennedy in that list, where, you know, I call it weed rap. You know, where they rapped about smoking blunts and getting high and doing crazy things. So he was one of I call it weed rap. So Smoke DZA, you know, he's known as the Kush God, and he has great connections within the rap community. I mean, he did a collaborative album with Pete Rock. Like, Pete Rock's a legend. If you guys get a chance, look up some Pete Rock's work, and you will understand why, you know, he's such a legend. He is. I mean, you can put him up there with DJ Premier. And if you don't know who DJ Premier is, go listen to a couple Gang Starr. And the production that's done on all the Gang Starr albums is that, man. Gang Starr was, man, it was crazy. Now, a lot of people, I mean, before I, hopped on this, my man Trey, who was on the last week's episode, all y'all go check it out. Matter of fact, go check out all of season 2. Like, I would just like to say thank you to everybody who came on season 2, because right now, this is the best season. This is the best season I've done, because every interview's been a knockout of the park every time. And I just want to thank all of y'all. So, when it comes to, wow, I just lost my train of thought. Oh, man. When it comes to, Pete Rock. We're talking about Pete Rock. He's a legend. DJ Premier, all those great producers, so it's all about the behind. I have a more, respect for producers. I respect producers more than I do rappers, because I think it's a 50, when it comes to a rap song, it's 50-50. It's 50% rapper writing the lyrics, or whoever writes the lyrics, and then whoever does the production. So I respect that half. I also respect the lyricism, of course. We'll get to, some of my favorite lyricists, but I respect that part, because I feel like it's crazy what they can do and put sounds together and make it, make a rhythmic pattern with them, to where it makes you, they hit the boards, they play the piano, they may bring in live instrumentation, which I love. These guys stay in the studio 12, maybe even 24 hours just to make that perfect song. And once they make that perfect song, they know it's there. I've talked to a couple. I mean, I met Joey Badass. Even though I just told him and everybody knows Joey Badass is my favorite rapper of all time, because his music made me think outside the box, like, in life, really. Like, his music made me think outside the box in life. He opened up my third eye, I guess you could say. And, it just made me think, all right, you know what? Positive energy from now on. He was such a cool dude when I met him. It was probably one of the best days in my life, like in my teenager life, meeting him and thinking, like, yo, I listened to your music a whole summer. When I tell you guys I listened to Joey and Pro Era, which is his crew, for a whole summer, I listened to it for a whole summer. Nothing but Pro Era and nothing but Pro Era projects. CJ Fly, who's got an album coming out next week, guys. Speaking of next week in hip hop is very pivotal. But when I met Joey, it was crazy. But next week, December 9th, to be exact, 3 projects that I'm particularly intrigued of. Post Malone will be dropping his long-awaited debut album, Stoney. Everybody knows Post Malone of White Iverson. On this album, he's got Kehlani, Quavo from Migos, who's been killing it this year, and Justin Bieber. And right now, I've heard all the singles that have came out, and I think it's going to be a great album. CJ Fly is finally going to be releasing his debut album. Now, people want to know what's the difference between an album and a mixtape. A mixtape is free sometimes, but if you want to, it's a retail. A mixtape doesn't really have. It has a very generalized theme behind it. For example, Campaign that came out this year from Ty Dolla $ign. That it gave a theme of this is Ty Dolla's campaign. This is what he stands for. This is what he does. There was no, not all the songs, went together and created this body of work. But it was a mixtape. Dream Chasers 4 was a mixtape. What a Time to Be Alive from last year was a mixtape. It's just a compilation of songs with the generalized theme and put together. You know what I'm saying? Mixtapes sometimes have 25, 26. I think the longest mixtape I've ever seen, it's probably 100 songs. Yeah, 100 songs, and it was by Lil B. I don't listen to Lil B, but I just saw it, and I was like, I'm not going to listen to this. Because that's 100 songs. It'll take me like a week to finish that whole thing. But, of course, everybody knows J. Cole is dropping For Your Eyes Only next week. Now, people are saying that, he's going at people and dissing people, and he's going at Kanye West, he's going at Lil Uzi Vert, Lil Yachty. Don't y'all remember he did the same thing last year? Or not even last year, 2 years ago with 2014 Forest Hills Drive? Y'all don't remember that? When he went platinum, no features, 13 songs. He did most of the production on Fire Squad. He does this because he wants people to. He does this because he wants to get a rise out of somebody. I mean, Wale today came out with a response, and I think that's J. Cole's like, yes, this is what I want y'all to do. I want y'all to step it up. I want y'all to compete for the best. I don't want everybody to get comfortable. That's what he does. That's what J. Cole does. J. Cole talks to you, talks to your soul. And there it goes again. I said it again. J. Cole talks to you as a person. And then he talks to his fellow peers and saying, listen, man, this isn't I want rap to be a contact sport, in the words of Tory Lanez. Tory Lanez said that in the Flight 96 episode. Or excuse me, in a Hot 97 episode. Jesus, if I had Tory Lanez on this show, that'd be crazy. But anyways, hip hop is a competitive thing. And you want to be the best. And so far, people are looking at Drake as the best. People are looking at Kendrick as the best. Some people are even looking at J. Cole as the best. Those three, Eminem still, people say he's still the best till his day. So you guys have to think it's not about numbers. It's about when a song from Drake comes out, what do people do? They go crazy because it's Drake. Everybody loves Drake. You at least if you don't like Drake, you at least like one song. I mean, don't lie to me here. But you have to like at least one song from Drake. I mean, I'm a Drake fan. I went through my Drake phase. I wasn't in my feelings the entire time, but I just liked I would just listen to his music all the time. I went through a Wiz phase. I went through a Joey. I'm kind of still I'm still in my Joey phase, kind of. Maybe. I don't know. I went through a Joey phase, Wiz phase, Currency phase. Yeah, I mean, we all go through our phases where we listen to music. I mean, I got that from my brother. So, but the thing is with J. Cole is that he wants to make rap a competitive, sport. I guess is a good way to put it. He wants competition. He wants people to be like, you know what? I'm gonna go ham my next album. Like I really want to buckle down and go ham. You know what I'm saying? I want to put out a great body of work where, if I take 2 years to make it, then it takes me 2 years to make it. But I want this to be the best, instead of just like, you know what, I'm going to take a year, 6 months, put this album together, make it good, put it out. Like, I want people to be like, okay, like, y'all in trouble when this album comes out. Like, that's what I want to hear. Like, and I want you to deliver on your purpose, But a lot of, we're nearing the end of the year. It's the final month of 2016, and we still got a lot of great music to come. Of course, J. Cole, CJ Fly. We should be getting a Drake mixtape or playlist by the end of the year. We should be getting another Gucci Mane project, which I'm very excited. I've liked all the music that Gucci Mane has dropped ever since he's been released from jail. A Young Thug album or mixtape if his debut album ever comes out, which is High Tunes, which has been often delayed. But Amigos project. They've been teasing Culture for the past 2 months. We'll see what happens with that. But just, I mean, people tell me, it's like, people always tell me like, do you just listen to rap? I'm like, yeah. I mean, there's some other songs from other genres that I do. I mean, Frank Ocean is classified as pop, but Blonde and Channel Orange sound so R&B to me. They do. They just sound just more up-tempo R&B. And, you guys, everybody says, Channel Orange was the Old Testament. Now Blonde is the New Testament when it comes to, in your feelings. You know what I'm saying? But I think Blonde and Channel Orange are two complete albums, like two completely different albums. I feel like Blonde's more emotional. I feel like he got a lot off his chest. Because we've been asking for a friend. We've been begging for a friend. Matter of fact, in 2016, everything we begged for and we like literally pleaded and asked for, we got. We wanted a J. Cole album, we're getting one next week. We wanted a Frank album, we got one. A Childish Gambino just dropped an album, but a lot of people aren't fans of it, which I don't understand. It's literally Childish Gambino can do whatever he wants. And that's what people have to understand. People are like, oh, this album's trash. No, it's just because you don't get it. Excuse me. You don't understand what he did with that album. Like, he didn't make it. Even the genre that it's classified under it's R&B / soul. That is a soul and funky album that he made because that's what he wanted to do. He made a show on FX, which was great. I urge you guys to go watch it. It's called Atlanta, and oh my god, it was such a good season 1, and it makes me want to see if it's already been picked up for a season 2. Actually, it got picked up for season 2 like not even midway through the season. I think like by the 3rd episode, FX was like, wow, this is doing great numbers. We're gonna book you for next season. So I'm eager to see what that happens. Childish Gambino is actually one of my inspirations when it comes to doing many different things. Like, of course, this year, I made my own mixtape where I rapped and made my own beats and all that good stuff. I did it because I wanted to do it. Childish Gambino made a R&B, soul funk, 80s, kind of lovey-dovey kind of album because he wanted to. He made a show called Atlanta about a rising rapper, but it's mostly about a guy who's been looked down upon because of the choices he's made. Everybody doesn't really like Earn, which is the character that Donald plays in the show, and everybody. I mean, like I said, he's broke, and not a lot of people they don't like broke people. And then he's just all he wanted to do is help out his cousin, who's trying to be a rapper. So, and plus the best thing is about this whole entire series is that it's so real. It could happen to anybody. It could literally happen to anybody. Like every single episode is like, oh, that could happen to me today. Oh, they could be. There's a scene where they're just chilling on a couch outside and just talking about what they could do. That could happen. I can't believe I know that sounds dumb, but it's very real. It's very lifelike. Like it could happen. It's just very common. It could happen to anybody. So, yeah, I know I talk a lot about music on here, but it's my podcast, so I can talk about what I want. So, so people who don't understand the Awaken My Love album by Childish Gambino, if you don't understand it, if you take a look at all the moves that Donald has made this year, he's done his messages that I do what I want, whether you like it or not. I still have and there's probably still some hardcore Gambino fans that love this album. I'm like, oh, this is left field. This is totally we got raps on Because the Internet. We got complete raps, just bars throughout the whole project, and some singing, but mostly bars throughout the whole project. I mean, with songs like Sweatpants, World Star, Crawl, I believe. Yes, is the name. Yes, Crawl. So, and then we went completely in a different direction. So, and people are doing the same thing with To Pimp a Butterfly. They don't understand it either. Like, why is there live instrumentation? And why is he talking about, why is he not talking about bitches, hoes, and drugs? There's more than that. And that's what I tell to people. I'm like, there's more to hip hop than bitches, hoes, and drugs. And saying the N-word multiple times. There's more to that. There's actually substance. There's a story to be told. Matter of fact, the perfect example of a story to be told, all of y'all go listen to Dave East's Keisha. If you go listen to a song by Dave East called Keisha off his Kyrie Chanel mixtape, he doesn't, it says the N-word and he's talking about how a girl robbed him. The whole time, he doesn't, saying he wasn't flexing or anything, as people like to say. He wasn't flexing. He wasn't showing off. He was just telling a real story about the time he got robbed by a girl named Keisha, and he was mad about it. And I love that song because it's wow, it takes me to where he was, you know what I'm saying, where he got robbed, and he met this girl, he had sex with her, and then the next day, $15,000 out of his, $15,000 out of his pockets were gone. His phone was gone. His wallet was gone. And, and he was mad about it. He got really mad about it. And he just expressed how it happened. And Kyrie Chanel is I call it an album. It's, he says it's another mixtape, but I call it an album because the way it is sequenced. And there's a lot of mixtapes there's a lot of free music that's out that I classify as an album. Like Chance the Rapper's Acid Rap, Coloring Book, even though that's a mixtape, I still call that an album. That is great. It's just a lot of these, different types of projects that have came out and have said and have, put out these messages. Like Chance the Rapper is the most positive person I've ever seen on TV. Ever. I've never seen him sad or mad about anything. I've never heard him yell at a fan, or him punching somebody. I've always seen him doing good things for his city of Chicago, putting out free music where, he's like, all right, I'm going to put this on Spotify and, Apple Music and all this other stuff. But I don't want people to pay for it yet. He's working on his official debut album right now. Just letting y'all Chance fans know. But He's put out free music, and he has such a big following off of free music, and he hasn't sold one song. He hasn't sold one song of his, which is crazy to me. So, and that's another person you guys should check out. Chance the Rapper is amazing. Now, for my non-rap fans, we're going to talk about some life stuff here. I've encountered a lot of different people in my life. I've encountered a lot of different personalities and characters in my life. But the constant, that I've seen is, there's people that I've met who I gave the benefit of the doubt to. And I've sat there and said, you know what? This person might be, have done bad things in the past, but you know what? I'm gonna give them a shot. You know what I'm saying? Maybe they've changed the error of their ways. And sometimes I was right and sometimes I was wrong. And when you're wrong about that stuff, it makes you feel bad because, you went to bat for this person. You said great things about this person when another person said, bad things about this person. And it sucks. It does. It sucks. And, to the people who have done that, who have, stood up for people who really didn't deserve it in the end, it's okay. I've done it before. You're not alone. It's kind of, you kind of have to take those things on the chin. We all make mistakes. Nobody's perfect. But you all have to take those things, into consideration to where, all right, this person ended up being who I didn't think I ended up being wrong about this person. All right, I'm not going to mess with this person anymore. I'm not going to, associate myself with this person. And then you learn something from it. You learn okay, from now on, if this happens, I'm going to do this instead of this, basically. Like if, someone, says something bad about you on Twitter and, or says something bad about your friend on Twitter that you were wrong about, and you stood up for them, but then you find out that they were talking crap about you. Well, you're not going to stand up for it. Then now next time you're just not going to stand. You're not going to, if it happens again between, y'all two, then you're not going to stand up for them again. You're just not going to, because they, won't stand up for you. Why should you stand up for them? Another thing I wanted to talk about as we reach the 37-minute mark. If y'all made it this far, I appreciate it. I just wanted, share my thoughts from the editor chair, I guess. A lot of cool things have happened this year. We've lost a lot of great people this year. We've lost China, who was a former wrestler. I used to watch her on TV when I was a kid. We lost Prince this year, and we lost Phife Dawg from Tribe Called Quest, who was one of my favorites. And usually I don't talk about this, but we're all riled up about Trump being elected, but I'm gonna say this, and then I'm gonna just dead the whole and just move on to a different topic. I did not vote this year. I had a choice to let my voice be heard, and I didn't. So I have no room to speak about who is elected, who's not elected, who I want to be president, who I do not want to be president, because I had the choice to let my voice be heard, and make sure that the person that I wanted to be president became president, and I chose not to. The reason why, I just didn't like what both sides were offering. I didn't. Just opinion-wise, I just didn't like what both sides were offering, and I decided you know what? No. But if somebody asks me about politics, I won't say anything, because that doesn't make any sense. I didn't vote. I don't have a reason to speak upon politics, about something that I don't participate in. So that's the end of that topic. The next topic I want to talk about is Battle of the Sexes. Battle of the Sexes is coming soon. The idea and the thing I'm pushing for is to at least have one episode done before the end of the year. I wouldn't hold your breath on that, but that's the goal. If that doesn't happen, first week of January, you betcha it's going to happen. So, for those who have asked to be participants in this, and what Battle of the Sexes is, it's a debate. It's girl code versus guy code. We get to answer all the questions about girls and about guys. Girls are curious about some stuff that guys do, and us dudes are for sure curious about stuff that girls do. And we get to ask the questions. It's free range, no holds barred. You know, you get to ask any kind of question you want. And we're going to see who it is. You know, we're going to see what code is stronger, guy code or girl code. And it's a friendly debate, but, you know, I want people to kind of bring a little bit of a competitive edge to it, you know, kind of prove that, you know, girl code maybe is stronger than guy code, or guy code is stronger than girl code. We'll figure that out, but a release date and participants and a participant list will be released here in the near future. I hope to get it. My goal is to get it out before the year is up. So we shall see. We shall see. Just hold your breath, guys. But definitely, Battle of the Sexes is definitely coming. It's definitely happening. Another thing I wanted to speak about is all the people who have supported this show that haven't been on the show. Shout out to my man Beeves. He listens to the show all the time. Shout out to Jesse Morales. He listens to the show all the time. Shout out to Jay Milton. He listens to the show all the time. Listeners, you guys are way more important than the actual guests. The guests are very important too, but I think the listeners are a little bit more important because, you know, you guys take time out of your day just to listen to me. And that's weird. That's just a weird sentence. But you guys take your time out and listen to me and talk and, you know, have interesting and great conversations with my guests. And it's awesome. It's awesome to me. You know, the reception I've gotten from this has exceeded my expectations. It's crazy. Before I wrap this up, because we're about to be 45 minutes, me here just rambling on. You know how we end this show, right? Song of the day. Now, usually I just say who it's produced by, why I chose this song, and blah, but I'm going to go real in depth here. The song of the day is it's off the brand new Family Business album. Actually, no. I'm gonna change. I'm gonna pull an audible here. It's off one of my favorite projects this year, The Sun's Tirade, and I know you guys heard me talk about The Sun's Tirade album by Isaiah Rashad, and I know I did Find a Topic in parentheses homies begged as a song of the day, but I'm gonna choose another one off this album because this album is like, if you're an Isaiah Rashad fan, a huge Isaiah Rashad fan like I am, this album was exactly what you wanted. Like, this album is this is what Isaiah, I feel like this is what Isaiah wanted to make. Every song I feel like he wanted to make it. But we're gonna go with the song Don't Matter. And Don't Matter is a different. It's a very upbeat, upbeat tempo. I guess I can't even speak. It's a very up tempo. It's very it's off the wall is what it is. It's a different Isaiah. It's a different kind of Isaiah Rashad record than anything I've heard. I mean, we're used to hearing him talk about his past and all these things that he's done, and his son, and Don't Matter is produced by Antidote and Carter Lang, and it's just very up tempo. Like, it makes me feel good, It's very like he's just, I think Isaiah is one of the best. Had one of the best years. I mean, he came out with "Smile," which is a crazy song. He came out with Nelly. So he's had a great year this year, and I'm anxious to see what his next album sounds like, because I feel like his next album's gonna be even more crazy. TDE, especially the whole TDE's had a great year. I mean, we've had Untitled Unmastered, we've had Blank Face LP, we've had I want to say we had J-Rock this year, but let me double check on that one. I'm not sure. I think we did have him this. It was either this year or towards the end of last year. Actually, it was towards the end of last year. So, but I think that album started the whole wave of TDE. We're still gonna get an Ab-Soul and maybe we're getting an Ab-Soul and SZA record, album before the year's up. And the final word from me is I want to talk to the ladies for a second, and then we'll end it right here as we reach the almost 50-minute mark. Ladies, I cannot stress this enough. There are there are terrible dudes out there, and there's good dudes out there. The only piece of advice that I want to give to y'all is, don't let your last relationship affect the next. No matter what of course there's going to be things that you won't be able to get over. There's things, you may have been cheated on, trust may have been broken, and you can't fix that. But the next dude, 9 times out of 10, has good intentions, and he doesn't want to live, he doesn't want to, sit there and just look at you like depressed and all that stuff because of your last relationship and what has happened. So, because it's not fair to the next guy. Like, if you go into your next relationship completely different than your last, it's not fair to the next guy, because he wants the person that he, I guess, that he liked in the first place, when he met you or something like that. He wants that person that he met. He wants that person that he met the first time, he took interest in you. That's a good phrase. The first time he took interest in you. And he wants, he wants to have the best time. He wants, and nine times out of 10, he just wants to make you happy. But you got to let him make you happy. You can't, block him off, and, because that's not fair. It's not. It's not fair to the next guy that you drag the skeletons from this relationship. It's going to be hard for you to let go of them skeletons, I know, and it may take some time, but you're going to have to. It's a fresh start. You think of a new relationship as a fresh start. He doesn't care what you did in your last and what you did in your last. He cares about what's happening between you and him right now. And again, 9 times out of 10, he just has good intentions and he wants to make you happy. That's it. That's all he wants to see. He just wants to see you smile some of the times, laugh, maybe go out to dinner a couple of times, and just be able to have you around, because that's good energy for him. And if a guy, you'll know if he has good energy, if he's feeling, the vibe or something like that. He'll smile a lot. He'll, talk a little bit more than he's supposed to. And, he'll compliment you a lot too. So just make sure you bring good energy into that next relationship, you make sure that that he's in the race, that he is not competing with anybody, that he's in a one-man race to earn your trust, heart. Turn your trust and heart. That's all. That's the finish line that he wants to get to. Just know that if you and again, if you're guys are in the talking stage and you're trying to feel each other out, reassurance is always key. You let your significant other know that he's in the race, that he wants to make it, that he wants the serious relationship can still happen. If you let him know that is still a possibility, he will keep at it until he gets what he wants, which is a serious relationship with you and you by his side. Now, us dogs, we just want one thing, and that's, I guess, if that satisfies you, that's good. But some dogs, some dogs may have a change of heart, and they find that one girl that makes them change their ways. I'm talking to y'all dudes out there. Y'all, I know all y'all is like, yeah, bro. It's like, how we do these hoes, you know what I'm saying? But wait till that one girl comes around and he completely changes you, and you're like, yo, what? No, I can't do this. You know what that is? You starting to care now. You're starting to care. That's care. That's care that's coming. That's care that's happening. You care about this girl because there's something about her that makes you change. For the good, not the bad, for the good. And you'll fight it for a couple of weeks. You'll fight it. You'll still be, trying to mac on other girls, and go to parties and stuff, and try to do hood shit, you know what I'm saying? And then you meet that one girl that makes you want to be like, you know what, I'm going to do better. Then you get a job. Then you start making money. Then you possibly go to school. You start doing all these good things, and you're like, what is this? It's the girl, homie. The girl is helping you change for the better. And sometimes I always say, I don't understand why girls, like the bad guy, but now I kind of do. They want to change them for the better. They want to make them better human beings. You know what? I salute y'all for that. I really do. I salute y'all for that, because y'all are trying to make society better with these, take the dudes off the street, put them in, get them, encourage them to get a job, encourage them to get their degree or do better in school. And wow, that's awesome. I can't knock that. That's what they're trying to do. So I forgive, all the ladies that love the bad guy, because they're just trying to make him a good guy. But to the girls that like the bad guy because he's a bad guy and continue to let him be a bad guy, I'm going to just shake my head at you. Like, really? Really, fam? It's not a good look. It's not a good look. See, that's your inner friend talking to you. Because one way or another, you doing this, and you letting him, cheat on you, borrow money and not pay it back, borrow your car and not bring it back filled up. What? Nah. You need to make sure that this dude's doing what he's supposed to do as a man, and make sure he's still in this thing called the relationship. Because if he's mentally checked out, you need to kick him to the curb. And same thing for y'all too. If a girl is indecisive about whether she wants to be with you, bro, You need to leave her and go to the next one, because I'm pretty sure there's a girl out there that wants to be in a relationship with you. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. So, girls, stop being indecisive. Dudes, let the girl do her magic, because she's gonna do some voodoo. She's gonna do some voodoo shit on you, like make you take out the trash when you don't even take out the trash. Make you do the dishes without even, being asked. Basically, all the stuff that your parents used to tell you to do, but you just ignored them and not did. That's what she's gonna do. She's gonna make you do better. Let her make you do better, because it's gonna make you a better person. And that's how I'm gonna wrap this up. I want everybody out there who's listening, try to be the best version of you can possibly be. Always have a positive mindset, because if you have a positive mindset, positive things will happen. And this has been Flight 96. I'm your host, Hunter Foreman. I'd gladly thank y'all for listening if y'all have gotten this far to Flight 96. And next week, Mackenzie Cogburn will be on the show. That's going to be an interesting one because, it's Mackenzie Cogburn. And if people who know who Mackenzie Cogburn is, they should be very interested in this. Still taking applications for the first ever couples edition as well. So y'all know where to hit me on Twitter at @ByHunterForeman, all one word, on Instagram and Twitter if you or on Snap, which is hforeman _23. If y'all want to be on Battle of the Sexes and be the first ever couples edition, where we talk about what it takes to maintain a couple, and, to be a couple, or and the do's and don'ts of a relationship. And Girl and Guy Code, we talk about everything that us girls and guys do, and we figure out who's stronger, Girl or Guy Code. And no, I just want to say thank you guys for supporting the show this entire. It's not even been a year yet, and it's been fantastic this entire time. So, y'all know the slogan: one love.